So we do not see a solid example of focused precision surgical striking in Western culture, especially not with a company moral code, right? We see the Celts, you talk about the Druids, you talk about really the different groups of people that are associated with the West, the Goths. We really, certainly not in popular culture do we see a solid example. And so if there was an example, why isn't it emphasized? Why isn't it all over, Hollywood, right? Because part of the culture is brute force, okay, and immature ideas of what it means to be in love. It's really infatuation, lust, being misdirected, and so on, and confused about the right thing to do. Okay, so then fencing comes along with the occult examples. Okay, uh, you know, the occult helped refine the fencing techniques, right? The Gerard Thibault's Academy of the Sword. I've gone over that in this occult book, which is about the history of the occult, not about magic spells. The occult book, A Chronological Journey from Alchemy to Wicca, John Michael Greer. Okay, and so it talks about the Gerard Thibault's Academy of the Sword and how there's occult symbolisms that relates to the strokes of the sword. Okay, so this has to do with surgical surge, Godspeed, Lightspeed, figure it out, worship, war shape, the spirit of the spirit that you're in, right? They're in the idea of magic, illusion, and science, and not in the spirit, which is key to martial arts. Striking, stroke, love struck. Okay, love struck how? You're hit by an arrow versus the arc, the man arc of the strike, right? The arc coming down, bang, right? Which implies the taller person. The Western wordplay implies it favors the shorter person because mortal is a play on words for more tall. And when we talk about mortal combat, in terms of humans, the tall person has the advantage in striking, and in fighting, the fatter, right, fighter person has the advantage. I've gone over that before. So we talk about pansy, right? Pan-see, right? How Pan sees it. And Pan is not aligned to Horus. He is aligned to Zeus and all the Western European deities. So that is the pansy perspective, right? All the Greco-Roman deities, all the European deities that are aligned to Pan can be seen as the pansy perspective. And so when we see the merger of Europe, with all due respect, we see every European culture that's paganism is pronounced and emphasized in this pansy culture that we have, this alchemical mixture. Their ingredients are compatible. They don't cause an explosion. They don't cause a clash that destroys Western culture. But they, if anything, if there's any clash of all of the chemicals, so to speak, of the ingredients, it is conducive to the rape culture, the greater rape culture that we see. When we look at the Bible, we see Apis, Osiris, Hades, the image of Jesus, Serapis, right? Bible, Christian culture, mainstream Christianity, churchianity, whatever you want to call it. We see Isis and baby Horus exemplified. It's really Isis and Kanhor, Khonsu, the son of Amen. They say Amen after prayer. Khan's whore is when Khonsu started pretending he's whore. It's also, we see men because we see psychology and drugs factoring into the culture. How many people on psych meds and so on, and different drugs and sugars and substances and materials that alter states of consciousness go to church. How much does that factor in? How does technology factor in, right? This is chemistry, alchemy, men, right? Minding, right? Mind. They mind your mind with science, and this repugnant rape culture is what we have as a result. So again, I want to stress two things, and I'll leave it there. The ill-gotten gains, women especially, leads you to mentally ill-gotten states of mind. And when you follow the train of thought of Western culture to its finish, of any of the respective cultures which are compatible and certainly forged in the environment of compatible cultures mixing together, you get a mentally ill state of mind. Ill-gotten gains, mentally ill, right? You're like, cover that up. He's making me look bad, right? Versus, I'm trying to expose what's going on. Cover that up. Bully him, drug him, plug him in the ass, right? Versus punish them for being immoral. Do we live in a culture where politicians are punished for being immoral? Definitively, effectively by people of high moral worth? Or is a bunch of corrupt people giving each other spankings and Martha Stewart treatment? Think about it. Of course it's an immoral culture. Of course all the components of it are contaminated because of it. If it is compatible with Western culture, it is immoral and it contributes to the rape culture. Feminism included. Prostitution included. Strip clubs included. All sex cultures included. All mixed together. Do they definitively address each other? No, because they know that they are part of the underlying cause and part of the reason why the other guys exist. Why do we have this? Why do we have massive secret societies, hundreds of secret registered secret societies, millions of members? Because they're controlling sex and reproduction and trying to keep from being embarrassed. So when you think about this, what do we expect from the alpha male? He's going to be sexually active, right? Hyper masculine, hypersexual. The two pretty much go hand in hand. We are going to expect him to try to address it, right? He might end up settling, okay? He's at risk of STDs and all kinds of, psychological trauma for settling. So he's got to be like me and not settle, okay? He's at high risk for that. He's going to start fantasizing. Now, does it help his reproductive cycle to imagine making love to some Western harlot? Show me one woman who's not a Western harlot. Why didn't she submit to me? Because she is. She's compatible. She's finding her life. She's compatible, right? Aiding and abetting. She's sleeping with the enemy. Even if she's not sleeping with anyone, she's spiritually sleeping with the enemy by not opposing him. Either you are part of the divine African Sun Temple pure masculine spirit solution, martial arts solution, or you're part of the problem. Can it be any other way? We're at war here. Everybody against God's true order. So what do we expect? If he is going to visualize a woman, which is logically what we expect, he's going to be doing it forcefully, is what we would expect. Me, I stopped masturbating, partly because of the drugs. I'll go ahead and say it. I don't give a fuck. I'm a grown-ass man. I'll tell you the truth. I'm part African. We tell the raw truth. We don't cover up things that need to be said. That is beta male activity. I am an alpha male. I am Pharaoh A1, the one. And I am not the one to play fucking games with. Okay, that is the bully. That is the sissy-faced hippo. That is the cowards. What do we expect? We expect him to fantasize about what you would consider rape. Force that person to reproduce in a way that creates a superior moral society. That's why feminists put fuck your morals and they walk around topless in front of little kids. In front of little kids. Talk about internalization and subconscious mental processes and automatic behaviors and future rape activities in front of little kids. Yeah. Those are the type of people that need to either be executed or assimilated forcefully or otherwise. What do you think there's prison for? You think that's not a form of force? You think cops don't use deadly force? You think the military doesn't? Who, what, when, where, how, why? It has to have a higher moral and natural justification through the alpha male order or it is wrong. Period. The alpha male is right to fantasize about forcefully having sex with them if they do not give him a suitable helper. Why are you the fence, Hades, H, hell? Why are you in the way? Why won't you do the right thing? Why does he need to resort to that? That's why it is said that Ra can protect the Pharaoh. He's automatically going to heaven from all attacks by his enemies. Spiritually is what they're really referring to. The poisoning assumed cosmic proportions. The poisoning. He can be killed. He can be caused to stumble. He can be drugged and made to do something he otherwise wouldn't do. But why is he doing this? Because you didn't love and respect him with your works. Elevate him and protect him from the attacks of this world. That is who you are. He is like God's son among you. God among you. Okay, not the one true God, the good God as distinguished from great God Ra, the God in terms of a man of renown who's the Pharaoh who conveys the Spirit of God. God's Spirit comes into him and that idea is he's God. Not the gay image of Christ, not that Serapis beast that you bow before. I am the living temple of God. Ra, ka, ba, ka. Not some sissy feminist suffix bitch shit or some gender neutral martial arts that refuse to risk everything for Pharaoh. You come from a long line of people that die for your illusion. But when it comes to the true principles of honor, you all come up short. Think about it. So I would now assert that it is correct for someone in my shoes, if they choose to masturbate to meet their needs, to visualize forcefully raping the enemy, the attractive enemy, mind you, instead of trying to take on some kind of bitch-made spirit and perspective to woo a demon into bed. You are better off forcing them to transform into your servant than turning into a snake, so to speak, to have consensual sex. Con artist, consensual, con the senses. They have no sense if they don't submit to me. Why would you submit to some fucking serpent? I am the Pharaoh. You have no sense. And having no sense means having no say, and I have the most sense, so I should have the final say. It's a no-brainer. You don't have to be the son of two doctors and the top martial artist to put this together. So why haven't you, opposition bitches? Now keep being tail-tucked all the way to your bitter, blotted out of the book of life end. I am the Pharaoh. I am the righteous one. And you are the persecutors in rebellion. I don't care if you're from Amen's temple or Apep itself. You're all in rebellion. And you all will lose your souls. As you cannot approach the Son naturally, you cannot approach God naturally, or otherwise you're done.